Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Miami, Season 5, Episodes 6, 7, and 8. Yes, it's a triple recap. I know I'm late, but holiday time. You know how it goes, y'all, but I'm here. But Miami is still that girl giving what the other girls were supposed to have gave, in the words of the famous and iconic Rolling Ray. And if you're not tuning in, I'm gonna need you to get Peacock and check out Miami because she is bringing the drama, the glamour, the money. Because a lot of these other franchises, we don't really see the wealth, but I digress. But yeah, I'm loving Miami. I am not loving Alexia. Miss Alexia, it's about to be you and I because you tried it in all of these episodes. I don't like the way she treats Guerdy. In my personal opinion, Guerdy is treated like an outsider. But with all that being said, let's just jump right on into it because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. Now, just a quick disclaimer because we are doing 3 episodes. I'm not going to spend time on every single detail. So I'm letting you guys know right now, if I miss anything, please, we'll talk about it down in the comments, all right? But I'm not going to bore you with little minute details talking about, oh yeah, and she was eating a cheeseburger and they were there. No. Now, in episode 6, all the ladies are in Key West, and Lisa is telling them the news that Lenny wants a divorce, he's dating some other woman, and this conversation was very interesting. You have Lisa going into detail about how Lenny was acting strange. She finally asked him, like, what's the deal? And he let her know that he wanted out, that he had been seeing a new woman, and yeah, he was done with the marriage. And we find out that Lenny's new girlfriend follows Lisa on Instagram. They're all like, wait, what? Now, let me just say, that's some real single white female weirdo behavior. Because it's bad enough that you're sleeping with a married man, but to follow his wife on social media and like all her pictures.
No.
So you have Alexia all hype, talking about that's just so gross, I can't believe that. And now it gets me thinking, how many of our followers want to F our husbands? Now, Alexia, let's stop right there. Girl, please don't gas yourself up. Let's not act like every woman or everybody on social media who follows you is a secret hater. Like, I was so annoyed at that. And Alexia saying that she wants to pull the other woman's hair. And I was thinking, one thing about me, I'm not fighting another woman about a man, all right? If he wants somebody else, go and get somebody else. I'll go get somebody else too. The way my self-esteem is set up, I'm not begging anybody to stay with me. Like, that's not happening, okay? Like, all this, what? If you can have my man, go. Please, be free, be happy, be blessed. But I assure you that I'm not pulling anybody's hair. I'm not fighting anybody. I would never give the other woman or the ex the satisfaction. Like, it's not happening. Lisa going on about how blindsided she is and saying that she had no idea that her husband of 15 years would throw her away like that and how she considered him family. Now, personally, I always felt like their marriage was on shaky ground since they came on this show. Lenny, let's not forget, he pretty much gave her an ultimatum in the earlier seasons, like, if you don't have kids, then we're over. I don't ever feel like their marriage was ever on solid ground. Now, when Guerdy gave Lisa advice, Larsa had a problem with it, and she's like, Guerdy, okay, put a muzzle on it, like, stop talking. You can't relate because you haven't gone through a divorce like we have. Now, while I understand that Guerdy's advice is going to be a bit different because she's still married, don't try to silence her. I don't like the way these ladies disrespect Guerdy. I hate the way they talk to her. They treat her like she's not really a part of the group. Like, I don't like that. And while she hasn't been through a divorce, she can still give advice. Every woman on the planet has been through a breakup. So to act like Guerdy has to sit there and shut up, like, who are you? Larsa, you're always giving your 2 cents about things that you haven't experienced. So why do you get to talk and Guerdy can't? Now, Lisa, when you were saying that you still want to save your marriage, I said, girl, this man has made it very clear that he does not want you. And everybody looked at you like, girl, you're living in a pipe dream. It's over. Call up a divorce lawyer and let's get this divorce started. When Adriana and Julia were talking and Adriana said, yeah, Lisa lost herself completely, I agree. Everybody could see that her identity became being Lenny's wife. Not to get preachy, but there is something to be said about having a sense of self. Because no matter who leaves your life, who stays, knowing who you are, it's very powerful. Nobody can ever take that away from you. Having hobbies, having a life outside of a man, that's very important. Being fulfilled on your own, like, there's not a price tag that you can put on that. And I really hope going forward that Lisa will get in tune to who she is and find out what she likes and find things that she enjoys doing that don't involve a man. Because to be so wrapped up in somebody, that's unhealthy. And then if they leave your life, you're devastated because you wrapped your identity in them. And one thing that my parents really instilled in me and my siblings is to make sure that your sense of self is strong. Because in life, people will love you today and hate you tomorrow. I mean, somebody could be madly in love with you, and then the next day their feelings have changed. They're gone with somebody else. And while it hurts, you realize that it's not the most devastating thing. Like, okay, it hurts right now, but I will get through this. It's such a blessing to say that, you know, I'm gonna be good. I'm going to always be good. Oh, since we're on the topic of Lisa and Lenny, one of y'all told me that allegedly Lenny's losing clients. You see how when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite? Lenny, you want to play your wife like this on national TV? Your money is about to dry up. Now, on the other hand, that's not good for Lisa and the kids because we need Lisa to get that big divorce settlement, all right? And that alimony and that child support. So on the other side of things, I don't want his business to completely tank. But we cut to Lisa on the phone with her mother-in-law, and Marina's telling Lisa that Lenny has lost his damn mind. She went over to check on the kids, and Lenny told his mom that he didn't want his mom there. So we also learned that the driver brought the girl to the house. So Lisa is really freaking out. She's like, are you serious right now? If that woman is near my kids, we're gonna have an issue. Now I know that Lisa is estranged from her family, but my God, does she have any brothers, any cousins? Because there is no way that Lenny would be able to walk playing me the way he's playing Lisa. Lenny would be in the hospital. Now, I want to jump to the dinner scene in this episode. They're having dinner on the beach. Lisa's out of it. She says off rip, I don't want to be here. I feel like my mind is a million miles away. And she excuses herself and goes to the restroom. So as the dinner's going on, Alexia's friend comes out. I think his name is Johnny, but he delivers a gift for her on behalf of Todd. It's this gorgeous Bulgari watch, and Adriana makes a comment saying, oh, Alexia's up here talking about don't depend on a man, but meanwhile, she's getting gifts from a man. Now, Adriana, that's her husband. Second of all, why does Adriana always seem so pressed about what somebody else is getting or not getting from their man? There's always a tinge of jealousy every time Adriana opens her mouth. Because what a nasty thing to say. This woman got a beautiful gift from her husband, and all you have to say is, well, we have the same watch and I bought mine, but your man got you yours. Okay, and are you jealous, sis? because you don't have a man who could buy you gifts? Like, Adriana, just shut up. Adriana needs to work on that jealousy of hers because it's not cute. But now we see the ladies play a card game where they have to read some questions. So we see Larsa pick a card. Her card reads, if we were all drug dealers, who would get high off their own supply? I think Marisol and Alexia raised their hands. And then Alexia's card reads, if we were cops, who would be the dirty cop? Alexia says that she would. So it's Julia's turn. She reads her card, and her card says, if we were all prostitutes, who would make the least amount of money? So Julia jokes around and says that she would be the one to make the least amount of money. And now Alexia says, oh girl, stop. You're Russian. Of course you'd make the most money. So the whole table's quiet now, and Julia is pissed. One thing about it, every time Alexia is called out or she's wrong about something, she always gets defensive. So she's like, I'm paying you a compliment. I'm just joking. We're just playing a game. And I said, no, sis. Just say I'm sorry. What you said was ignorant, and you sounded like an asshole to say that. You put your foot in your mouth, own it, shut up next time, and make sure that you don't say that again. So you have Marisol jumping in to defend her friend, and I said one thing about it. Marisol always has to step in and fight Alexia's battles. In my personal opinion, I have always felt like Marisol and Alexia's friendship is very one-sided, where it's Marisol following behind Alexia like a puppy dog. They give me very much Giselle and Robin vibes. And I just said, Marisol, please shut up. Your friend said something stupid. Let her take this L. You don't need to try to cover this up for her and defend her and make excuses. Just be quiet. So Julia makes it clear that she's not happy about that statement, and she says that when she was younger, modeling in Paris and London, she heard that all the time and it really hurt her. So now it's the next day, and we have Lisa heading back to Miami. She's like, I need to get back to my kids. Lenny blocked my number. I couldn't even talk to them, so I need to go and see my kids. So now she's off, and the rest of the women are getting ready for their excursions. They're going to learn how to make mojitos and cut cigars. So we see them on the Sprinter van to their activity. They're all talking about Lisa, how they feel sorry for her. Larsa calls out Guerdy and says, Guerdy, we all know what it is to be divorced. You don't, so be quiet next time. The way Guerdy looked at her, she was like, wait, really? Even though my perspective might be different, don't tell me to be quiet. I'll talk if I want to talk. And I said, that's right. Because Larsa, how dare you? You're always running your mouth about everything. I don't know why you guys are so hell-bent on giving Guerdy a hard time. It's like she can't win with you guys. Now, while they're on their way to the activity, they stop at a food truck to get some breakfast. Now we see them all ordering some orange juice, some eggs, all that. And now Alexia and Julia go off to the side to talk. So Alexia says, look, Julia, I can tell you're still mad at me. I'm sorry about what I said last night. I was only joking. It was just a game. So here's where Julia finally clocked into work, and I said, yes, ma'am, this is what we're waiting for. She says, you know what, Alexia? It's just so funny coming from you since you lived off of drug money from your first husband. Baby, the way Alexia was stunned, she was too stunned to speak. She said, wait, really? You want to bring up my past to put me down? Really, Julia? So, of course, here goes Alexia putting her fingers in Julia's face. Julia said, all right now. I said, Alexia, we have seen on various franchises that whole finger in the face thing does not work. So keep it real cute, okay? Keep your hands right here. But Alexia is so angry at Julia for bringing that up. So she clarifies and she says, well, actually, no, because my first husband lost all the money. I had money from my dad when he passed away. So Julia's like, girl, I really don't care. Your comment pissed me off. I'm still angry. And your apology, it doesn't work for me. So Alexia's irritated. They go back on the Sprinter van, and now the argument starts right back up. So Alexia says, well, it's my birthday. I'm not doing this. And Julia says, I don't care that it's your birthday. Don't make a comment like that. I said, all right, Julia. Look at Julia being interesting for a few minutes. So Alexia gives another apology. Julia's not here for it. And then Alexia says, well, I only said that because I was watching a documentary on Netflix about Russian women who come to the States and have to do what they have to do to survive. So now you have Adriana jumping in to defend her friend, and she says, well, Alexia, what about the documentary called Cocaine Cowboys, which featured your ex-husband? How would you feel if people judged you based on that documentary? So here goes Alexia getting defensive, talking about you can be a drug dealer and a good person. And I said, okay, Alexia, whatever you say. So now Alexia and Adriana go at it. Alexia says, well, you know it's more shameful than that? A woman dating a man who's married. Now, she's throwing shade at Adriana because remember that the new guy that Adriana is seeing is allegedly still married to his wife. So Adriana's like, really, Alexia? That's really low of you to say that I'm dating a married man. But to be honest though, Adriana, you do need to make sure that that man isn't married. But the way I screamed when Adriana called out Alexia and she said, oh, really, Alexia? Because weren't you the same woman who was dating Todd while you were married to Herman? Let's not. But we go into episode 7 with them still arguing on the Sprinter van on their way to make mojitos and cut cigars. And it's pretty much Alexia versus everybody on that van. Alexia and Julia are still yelling at each other. You have Alexia talking about Julia's jealous of her because Alexia's a star and how she's been a star since she was born. So they're all like, are you serious? No, I said, Alexia, we only found out about who you were when this show aired. Like, I didn't know you prior to Real Housewives of Miami. I mean, maybe you were a star in your family, but you weren't a star to the world. Now, Guerdy's one of those people who can't hide their facial expressions. So she made a face when Alexia said that. So Alexia turns to Guerdy and says, stop making those faces. So Guerdy's like, excuse me? Like, girl, who are you talking to? I'm a grown woman. Don't tell me I can't make a face. Now, I said, Alexia, why do you care so much if Guerdy was making a face? Like, who are you to tell somebody don't make a face? I just can't stand Alexia and her overinflated ego. Like, sit down. You don't run this show. Everybody has to bow down to you. Like, I would have checked Alexia so bad. Like, how do you know I'm making a face about what you said? You're assuming. Don't you dare try to check me about my facial expressions. Excuse me? Like, we would have had a real issue on that van. I would have made it very clear that Alexia had messed with the wrong one. Like, girl, this is not what you want. Another big issue with Alexia, she's very dismissive of people, but she wants everybody to cater to her. Again, very self-centered, very self-absorbed, and she has this attitude where she believes that she can do whatever she wants, say whatever she wants, and if somebody tries to call her out, then it's an issue. And that's not how this works. But they finally arrived to have some lunch, make mojitos, cut and smoke cigars, but everybody's in a really bad mood. So they sit down for lunch, and of course, the conversation goes left. Julia is still pissed, and she's like, so where do we go from here? Alexia is all rude, talking about, we're still talking about this. I thought we were over this. I thought we moved on. Now, how in your pea brain did you think that you guys moved on? Nothing was resolved on the Sprinter van. People are still mad at what you said. And Alexia has the audacity because when she's upset about something, we have to hear about it for episodes on end. But because you're over the topic and you want to drop the subject, now everybody else has to drop it too? Like, again, I don't know who gassed Alexia's head up, but she needs to calm it down and come back down to earth. But Julia tells Alexia clearly that she is not jealous of Alexia at all. So you have Alexia saying that, look, nobody's perfect and we all hurt in this life. So now Guerdy jumps in, and God bless Guerdy because she was trying to make a point, but the other women were so determined to make fun of her. And I was upset for Guerdy because I understood what she was trying to say, but because she didn't articulate herself in the best way, they all made fun of her and shut her down. I didn't like that. All Guerdy was trying to say was, in this group, it seems like other people are afforded the grace to talk and say what they want while others are silenced. That's what she was trying to say. And for them to play dumb and act like, I don't understand what she's talking about. You have Marisol being so rude, saying that every time Guerdy opens her mouth to talk, she never knows what she's saying. And I said, well, why is that? How come you're able to understand everybody else in this group, but you can't understand what Guerdy says? Again, it felt like a microaggression to me when she made the joke saying that Guerdy talks like a damn Rubik's Cube. I said, is that necessary to say? I don't know, y'all. I don't like the way they treat Guerdy. They treat her like the outcast of the group. She's definitely not in the inner circle in this group. Like, let's be real. Let's just call a spade a spade. And I also wish that Kiki was more of an ally to Guerdy, because you have Kiki making fun of Guerdy too, talking about Guerdy doesn't articulate herself well. It's just funny expressions. And it's like, really, Kiki? And I like Kiki a lot, but I just wanted to see Guerdy and her be super close. And I get the impression that Kiki wants to be up under Larsa and them, because you know that they're best friends now. But while they're trying to play Guerdy like they don't understand what she's talking about, Guerdy says, look, Alexia, you're very dismissive. For you to say that you're a star in the van, like, who says that? We're all stars, we all shine, nobody's better than the other person. And instead of Alexia receiving what Guerdy had to say, all she could say was, well, you're always saying how you're in vogue. And I said, let's stop here for a minute, because it seems like Alexia is real pressed at the fact that Guerdy is successful, because this has to be about the third or fourth time where Alexia has brought that up about Guerdy's full of herself and she's always saying that she's in vogue. First of all, Guerdy's not walking around saying, I'm in vogue, I'm in vogue. You're the one yelling out how you're a star. And if you think so highly of yourself, why are you so pressed about Guerdy feeling good about herself? Somebody else's confidence shouldn't make you feel a type of way unless you're insecure. Maybe I'm reaching, but it feels like a lot of times people don't want to see Black women confident and really feeling themselves, because everybody else can be confident and, you know, be like, oh yeah, I'm a bad bitch. But when a Black woman does it, it seems to be a problem. I'll bet you all money that if Alexia or Marisol were in vogue, we wouldn't hear the end of it. I liked how Guerdy just said, look, in this group, it's a clear hierarchy. I'm obviously not in the in crowd. And Adriana co-signed and said, yes, in this group, it's a clear pecking order. I said, Guerdy, going forward, please pay these women dust. Don't even appear to be pressed to hang out with them. Now we see them all cutting and rolling cigars, and Marisol informs them that when they get back to the resort for dinner, there's going to be a shaman, and she's hoping that it cleanses the group. Now, I feel like getting a shaman on these cast trips is the newest craze. We see it all the time on SLC, where you have Whitney getting a shaman for a healing exercise, and these ladies still fight each other down, so is the shaman really helping them? But the ladies get back to the resort, they're getting ready for dinner. Nicole has to leave because she has to do a shift at the hospital, so her Key West trip has come to an end. Now we jump to Adriana and Julia getting ready for dinner, and Adriana says that she's annoyed at how Alexia and Marisol are coming at her with these rumors about her new man possibly being married. So Adriana says that she's been stalling because his mom had passed away, and she wasn't trying to ambush him with all that. Now, there's a big part of me that feels like Adriana is purposely stalling because she's not ready to find out the truth. I think that Adriana is feeling like it's her last chance at love, so she just wants to get a man by any means. And if that means turning a blind eye to some things, she'll do that. Because the minute I heard some rumblings about he's married, I would be asking him immediately, like, wait, are you married? That's just me, though. Now, it was interesting when Adriana's new guy called her as she was walking to dinner, and she's like, look, are you married? Because the women in my group keep saying that you are. And his answer sounded a bit sketchy to me, because he was like, oh, well, I've been legally separated for 5 years. And I'm thinking, look, are you married or not? And when he finally said, oh, but we've been divorced now for 3 years. I don't know, Adriana. I said, his answer did not sound convincing to me. I think that he might be married. But Adriana is relieved that her new man is single, according to him. Now, this dinner, in my opinion, was pretty messy because you have Adriana talking about she wants all the women to come out for her music video. We all know that Adriana sings, and I had no idea until recently that she's the one singing the theme song for Miami. So I know that has to be a nice coin, but anyhow, I digress. So the topic of Adriana's new man comes up, and Adriana informs everybody that she spoke to him and he told her that he is not married. So Alexia says, oh, really? Because me and Marisol have the receipts. And it shows right here that his marriage license says that he's still currently married to his wife of 22 years. So now Adriana is confused. She's like, really? Because he told me verbatim that he's single. He's been divorced now for 3 years. So of course you have Alexia talking about, well, I choose to believe what Google says versus what he's saying. I think he's still married. So you have Alexia pulling out the public records, and even Guerdy clocked it. She was like, really, Alexia? It's like you're going out of your way to embarrass Adriana. For what? And it definitely felt like Alexia and Marisol were getting enjoyment out of embarrassing Adriana. But Adriana, it does look sketchy. If you want further proof, maybe hire a private investigator, pay for a background check, and settle this once and for all. And if he is married, let him know. Shout out to everybody. I have fun.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I have fun.
I gotta be good.
So we see Alexia call Lisa up, and she wants to know how Lisa's doing. Lisa's upset. She says that when she got home, she found evidence of the girl being at the house. She saw all this wine, all this food. So obviously they had a good old time that weekend. So now Lisa's asking all of them if Lenny and the new woman are having sex. So they're all like, Lisa, are you serious right now? Like, girl, how deep is your denial? Of course they're having sex. Like, your marriage is over. And also, Lisa's been in denial for a long time, so nobody can be too surprised that she's struggling to really process this information. The dinner's over, and now all the ladies go and see the shaman. Personally, for me, I'm not trying to rehash or revisit any past traumas or hurts and pains when I'm on a vacation. I can do that in therapy, back home. I don't need to do this on a girl's trip. No, thank you. I just feel like every group outing does not need to be this healing moment. Now, the final scenes of this episode, the ladies are back in Miami. We see Adriana at rehearsal. She's doing choreography to get ready for her music video. She wanted all the women to show up for her, but the only person who did was Kiki. And it seemed like this rehearsal was a big flop. And I was thinking, Adriana, you're better off hiring some dancers, because why you would be depending on these women when half of these women don't even like you like that? Why are you surprised that they didn't show up to your rehearsal? Now we see a short scene with Lisa having lunch with her mother-in-law, Marina. And I have to say, while I'm happy to see Marina finally embracing Lisa like she's her own, I do think it's kind of sad that it's taking a divorce for Marina to finally be loving and sweet towards Lisa. I mean, where was all this before? Because Lisa made it clear that Marina wasn't that nice to her and gave her a hard time. And now, since Lenny's being nasty to his own mom, now she empathizes and she wants to be on Lisa's side. I said, well, I guess better late than never. But again, really sad that it had to take all this for Marina to finally be on Lisa's side. But anyhow, they're talking about this whole situation. Lisa says that she's devastated and how she bumped into Lenny and his new girlfriend over the weekend. So she's like, I walked up to the girl and I asked her, why are you doing this? And she just looked at me and ignored me. So Marina's like, oh my gosh, what an evil woman. No, I said, Lisa, I understand that you're hurt and you have every right to be upset, but approach Lenny. Lenny is the one who took vows. He's the one who pledged his loyalty to you. If you need to address anybody or confront anybody, it needs to be him. Yes, what she's doing is gross, it's disgusting, it's pathetic, it's just low-life behavior. But at the end of the day, your husband is the one who owes you the loyalty and the respect. And again, I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of me being pressed. Absolutely not. I wouldn't even address her. I wouldn't talk to her. I wouldn't acknowledge her. I would be paying her dust. Because best believe that the new girl and Lenny are getting a kick out of you being hurt like this. And also, Lisa, you are aware that that woman doesn't care, right? She doesn't feel for you. She's not hurt by what she's doing. So you confronting her isn't going to change anything. But Marina says that she's really upset by this, how she can't believe that her son is acting out like this. And it's really crazy because in their entire family, this will be the first divorce. But I was happy to hear Marina say that if Lisa needs anything, she's here for her. She has her back. And I said, well, thank God that Lisa has Marina by her side. So now we end the episode with Larsa, Alexia, and Marisol meeting up for lunch. And they're talking about the mess with Lisa. Larsa says, girls, I went out with Lisa the other night and we bumped into Lenny and his girlfriend. We walked up to them like, what are you doing? Lisa was so angry she was crying and ran out the club. It was a hot mess. Marisol and Alexia say that it was clear that Lisa was in deep denial about this, that Lenny was probably dropping hints that he wanted out, and Lisa was turning a blind eye. Marisol says that Lisa was flaunting her lifestyle that Lenny gave her, and other women wanted that. Now, honestly, if somebody wants to cheat on you, they'll cheat. Whether or not you advertise what your husband does or doesn't give you, if he wants to cheat, he'll cheat. So to act like, well, because Lisa was showing how well she was living and how well Lenny provided for her, that brought in the other women, well, that's not true. Lenny seems like he had no intention of being faithful in the first place. And I'm going to need for a lot of these women to stop blaming other women, like so many women are coming out in droves just hitting on your man, and you know, it's the evil women who are seducing your man, like, oh yeah, she just stole him. Can y'all not do that? Because half the time it's these married men acting like they're single. And then we close out episode 7 with Larsa spilling tea that one of her friends was at the Four Seasons and they saw Julia there with this guy, and Julia and the guy were making out. And I said one thing about it, Larsa always has some tea about somebody else, but she gets mad when you spill tea about her. Now, if we all ask you about what's going on with you and Michael Jordan's son, will you answer the question? Because you're out here talking about you guys are just friends, but pictures show that y'all are out to dinner, holding hands. So I'm like, okay, girl, you have a lot to say about other people, but when it comes to yourself, you want to be tight-lipped. Now, we get to episode 8, and when I tell you that this episode was a mess, it's the day of Adriana's video shoot, and again, sis, why are you depending on your cast members to dance in the video? Hire some dancers. When Adriana was going over the choreography with the women, and they were like, well, I mean, we practiced it a little bit, but we don't really know it. And I was like, again, stop being cheap. I would not be depending on these women. I would be hiring professionals because I want it done right. I feel like the only person taking their music career seriously on the Housewives is Candace from Potomac. But all the ladies are there at the video shoot. Larsa makes it known that she has no intention to be in the video and support Adriana. And my whole thing was, well then why are you here? Because what's the point of coming and not wanting to be in the video and dance? Larsa is high-key getting on my nerves again. I'm getting irritated with her. And it's sad because I was trying to like her. Like, she really won me over. in the first 5 episodes, but now she's starting to piss me off. You have Marisol at the shoot, playing bartender, talking about, oh, I have the drinks. And may I just address this quickly? Marisol, can you not make drinking your personality? I enjoy a good drink as well. I like a good margarita. I like a lemon drop. I like some champagne. But for you to act like drinking is all you have to talk about, it's enough. Act like you're used to a drink. At your big age, it's like, okay, girl, we get it. I just feel like Marisol is very thirsty for a moment. So you have Adriana's music video director, Jonathan, trying to instruct the girls on what to do. He's like, guys, we only have 2 hours left of the sunlight, and we need to get as much footage as possible. So they're not even listening to him. We see Larsa pull Julia over to the side, and she's like, Julia, I heard from a friend that you were at the Four Seasons with this guy and you guys were making out. So Julia's playing coy, and now they're all questioning Julia like, girl, is this true? Were you really kissing this guy? So Julia says that the guy is one of her best friends and they were just being silly and having some fun. Now you could tell that Julia's annoyed at Larsa because it's clear that Larsa's being messy. Now when the video starts, we see that Adriana, Alexia, Nicole, Kiki, and was it Julia? Was Julia still dancing? But they're all in the video, and Marisol was in the background. Now, did you guys catch her pinch the dancer's butt? And I said, Marisol, is your name Michael Darby? Leave that man alone. So they finished filming that first scene of the video, and now they all go inside, they're drinking and talking. Larsa brings up the Page 6 article with Lenny denying that him and Lisa are getting a divorce. So she's confused, like, why is he denying it when he has a girlfriend already? So as they're talking, Alexia's trying to get Guerdy's attention. Guerdy is flat out ignoring Alexia. I was here for it. So Alexia's upset that Guerdy's ignoring her. And now she's like, Guerdy, are you mad at me? So Guerdy says, yes, I'm still angry at you. The way you spoke to me on the Sprinter van when we were in Key West, then you insulting my charity, saying that my charity event was just okay, but Marisol's party was better. That was really insulting. So she also says that Alexia insulted her by saying that she needs her wedding to be top notch, pretty much implying that Guerdy couldn't deliver that. So Guerdy's like, all I deliver are top-notch events. I plan events at the Plaza, at the Pierre. Like, girl, ask about me, okay? My resume is very long. So when you said that, it really made me feel bad. So here goes Alexia playing victim. She says, Guerdy, you knew what I was dealing with. Last year, I had to cancel my wedding because my mom passed away. So I was emotional, and you saying this right now is very insensitive. So Alexia brings out the waterworks. She's sobbing. You have Marisol there to console her. And Guerdy was not here for it. She was like, when you give Alexia too much sympathy, she takes it and runs with it. I agree with Guerdy as well. I wasn't moved by Alexia's tears. I thought it was so funny that she just whipped them out immediately when Guerdy was making valid points about how Alexia treats her. Alexia, you need to get over yourself and get a grip because the way you spoke to Guerdy on that trip was disgusting. You treat Guerdy like you don't respect her. And I'm glad that Guerdy started crying too because I would have started crying as well. And I can outcry the best of them. So yeah, I would not have paid Alexia and those fake tears any mind. And when Guerdy said, and I cried too, to my husband, when you compared my charity event to Marisol's event, like really? And then you have Alexia saying, I never said that, Guerdy, you're a liar. Now the minute Alexia would have twisted her mouth to call me a liar, that would have been the end of the conversation. So you have Alexia saying that Guerdy abandoned her during her time of need when she needed Guerdy the most. And Guerdy's like, excuse me? No, I didn't. How did I abandon you? And Guerdy is a lot nicer than I am because I wouldn't have entertained this conversation. Like I said, the conversation would have been done when Alexia called me a liar. Then you have Alexia throwing jabs, talking about Guerdy was like the exorcist, making those faces. And Guerdy's like, really? And I was thinking, Alexia, grow up. All the crazy facial expressions that you make and you want to get on Guerdy. But Alexia and Guerdy go at it, and then you have Alexia saying that Guerdy's full of herself. And I said, again, I feel like Alexia has an issue with Guerdy being confident. It bothers her for some reason. And I've noticed in my experience that a lot of people have an issue when they see a beautiful, successful Black woman who's confident in who she is. A lot of people can't take it. They want you to be humble, not feel good about yourself, and no, it'll never give that. It'll never be that, okay? Like, why should Guerdy humble herself? For who? Alexia, you're the one who's full of yourself. You're very arrogant and very self-absorbed and very self-centered. So the audacity of you to try to bring Guerdy down a notch, like, how dare you? But this argument was just going in circles at this point. You have Alexia crying, Guerdy's crying, and I was thinking, again, you're not going to get anywhere with Alexia because Alexia can never own up to what she does. But they go from arguing to crying together to now they hug it out. Alexia says that she actually likes Guerdy and she wants to be Guerdy's friend. Now, the way Alexia treats Guerdy, I had no idea that she actually wanted to be her friend. And Adriana was pissed. She's like, this is my video shoot. Why are they yelling and arguing like this? It's about me today. And I would have been annoyed too. Like, I spent good money for this yacht, for this champagne, for the dancers, for the food, and now you guys are screaming and cursing each other out. Like, can y'all just rest and keep it cute for one day? Or at least a few hours? So since Alexia and Guerdy have stopped fighting, you now have Julia inviting all the women to her house. She's having a housewarming party, so she's excited to have them all come over. And now you have Larsa asking Julia again about her making out with this guy at the club. So Julia obviously does not want to talk about it. Larsa won't stop asking questions. Now you have Kiki jumping in and she's like, Julia, was this a full-blown kiss? Like, what happened? So now Adriana snaps at all them. She's like, guys, stop pressing Julia about this kiss. Leave her alone. It's not your business. Just stop asking about it. You're bringing the whole vibe down. So now Adriana snaps at Kiki, and now Kiki's pissed. Like, excuse me, are you serious right now? And now you have Kiki wanting to leave. She's like, I was the only one who showed up for Adriana yesterday at dance rehearsal, and for her to snap at me like this, like, not cool. Now, as Kiki got ready to leave the boat, I was screaming. Kiki took her Burger King with her. She had a whole Whopper and fries. I said, I know that's right. Now, I want to know, did Kiki bring the Whopper with her, or did she order it off of Uber Eats or Postmates or DoorDash? But we see Miss Kiki leave the boat. She is done, and she says, it's F Adriana. Overall, Adriana's video shoot was a complete flop. I mean, it was a total shit show because you had a whole bunch of arguing. They barely got any scenes together. I mean, the ladies didn't know the choreography. You have Marisol up there making everybody a drink. I mean, next time, Adriana, pay the money and hire some actual dancers, please. We see some short scenes with Guerdy at home. Guerdy has a really nice closet. I said, go ahead, Guerdy. I know she makes a good coin, but I think that her and her husband, Russell, are really cute. We learned that he's a fire captain. She says that his schedule is consistent, whereas hers is all over the place. I'm really liking Guerdy. I was on the fence about her last season, but as she's opening up more, we're seeing more of her life and the drama that she's having with Alexia. I'm liking Guerdy a whole lot. I really think that she's a nice addition. She seems really sweet. I'm here for Miss Guerdy. And I really hope that her marriage stays on track. I hope that they don't have any issues with her being on this show. And then we see another short scene with Lisa at home. She's having some ice cream with her daughter. And I think that Lisa's daughter is just adorable. Just so cute. And we learned that Lisa has not told her kids about what's happening with her and Lenny because they're so young. But she says that she gets upset because one day her kids are going to read about this and they're going to know what happened. And again, Lisa, that's going to be on Lenny. because what Lenny's doing is disgusting. He's gonna have a lot to answer for. So I wouldn't even worry about it, sis, because you've done nothing wrong. But now we get to the day of Julia's party. Her house is being all set up. She has the caterers there, the servers are there, the event planner is there with the champagne and the floral arrangements. Really nice. So we see Guerdy arrive first, and Guerdy had me screaming. She was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna need a full glass of champagne, not this half glass. Now we find out from Julia that she disinvited Kiki because she did not like Kiki's attitude at the video shoot. We see the footage of when Kiki was leaving, she was screaming at the director, telling him that if he uses her image in the video, she'll sue. I was like, Kiki, really? You're really that upset? Now, while I understand that Julia was upset with Kiki's behavior on the boat, I do have to say this. I find it interesting that Julia could forgive and invite Alexia, but can't forgive and re-invite Kiki, because Alexia made an ignorant comment about Russian women, and you guys had a knockdown, drag-out fight in that Sprinter van, but now you're okay with Alexia, but you want to disinvite Kiki? Like, really, sis? Everybody in this group has shown their asses at some point, so for you to act like Kiki's whole blow up was just that bad, I don't like that. Now, when Julia came down to greet everybody, I did not like her dress at all, and I have to get this off of my chest, but Julia always looked so matronly to me. None of her clothes hit, like, she always looked so dated. I want Julia to invest in a stylist and a glam squad. Martina's money is very long. Please get a hold of her American Express and go right to Bell Harbor and go inside of Saks and Neiman Marcus. Please. Now, when Larsa showed up, the energy kind of shifted because you already know that Larsa's about to bring it up again about her kissing a man. But you have Larsa asking Adriana how she felt about her video shoot, and Adriana's like, are you serious? Y'all ruined it. I mean, I barely got any footage. It was a mess. So, of course, you have Larsa playing dumb, and she's like, excuse me, how do we ruin it? So Adriana says, when you attacked Julia. So Larsa says, no, I didn't attack her. I just asked a question. So, of course, you have Larsa and Julia going at it. But you see Martina join in, and she wants to know what all the arguing's about. And now Larsa says, look, one of my friends told me that she saw Julia at the Four Seasons kissing a man. When I tell you that Martina handled this so well, because I was nervous. Martina says, oh, well, I prefer her make out with a man than a woman, so it's fine with me. And they were all shocked at how cool Martina was about it. I just felt like it was messy. I feel like Larsa wanted to start some trouble between Julia and Martina, because why bring this up at their housewarming? So Martina says that Julia got jealous when she kissed Gwyneth Paltrow on TV. And then Martina jokes around and says that she hasn't kissed a man in a long time. And then she adds that it used to be a former tennis player as well. So you have Marisol trying to guess, and she's like, wait, was it, I forgot the guy's name, I didn't write it down, but she named this tennis star, and Martina won't confirm or deny. But I think that it was, because the way she smiled when Marisol said his name, I said, yeah, I think that's the tennis guy that Martina kissed. And let me just say, I want to send some prayers to Martina and Julia, because you guys informed me in my Tuesday Night Live that Martina was diagnosed with breast and throat cancer. So I'm praying that she pulls through and has a speedy recovery, because I know that has to be taxing on both her and Julia. And they've been together for a long time. I'm praying that she really pulls through. But I was really sad to hear that. But we see Lisa arrive. She says that she's really sad and stressed out, hasn't been able to eat because of the mess going on. And now they all bring up the Page 6 article, and she says, yeah, I'm confused too. He let me know that we are not getting back together, so for him to lie to the press and say that we're not getting a divorce, it makes no sense. And I can't wrap my head around Lenny lying either. You already told Lisa that you want her out the house, you want a divorce, you're not in love with her, you already have a girlfriend, so why are you lying to Page 6 and everybody else about you're still married and you're not getting a divorce? It makes no sense. Just stand 10 toes down in the fact that you're a cheater who ruined your marriage. But Lisa says that she's known for quite some time that something was off, and she noticed that there was this attraction between this woman and Lenny. And then she adds that it's very difficult living in Miami and being married because of all the temptation. So now we learn that Lisa hated throwing those parties, but she did it for Lenny. Now, I called this in a recap a few weeks ago, where I said that we all knew that Lisa didn't like those parties and that she probably had no say-so in the matter because Lenny had all the money and he had all the power and control. So it was more like, you will put up with these parties or else you can go. Honestly, that was a warning sign right there that Lenny wanted something else. But Guerdy says that she's been married for 26 years and even still, this Lisa and Lenny news still has her shook because you never know. Then you have Nicole saying that because of what Lisa's going through, it's a reminder to her that she will never stop working. And then she says, at the end of the day, all you truly have is yourself. And I said, Nicole, you better preach, because that is so true. People can switch up on you like that. And I know it sounds really cliche, but for real, all you truly have at the end is you. And you need to make sure that you are your own best friend, because I promise you, people who you never thought would leave your life will leave. All right? And you need to have that foundation, like whatever happens, I'm going to be okay. And Nicole is so right that in the blink of an eye, everything can change. And we see with Lisa firsthand, everything changed like that. But the party's over at this point, and I was surprised, like, they just got here. I didn't see anybody eat any food or really drink anything. I mean, that's a very short housewarming. But anyhow, Lisa, Marisol, Alexia, and Guerdy all leave. And now it's just Adriana and Nicole still there. So they all go outside, and when I tell you that Martina and Julia have such a gorgeous view, I mean stunning. But we end the episode with Martina and Julia jumping into the water to have this romantic moment. And I said, well, hopefully Martina and Julia are on a better track, because we know that they've had issues in their marriage, not getting along. So I said, hopefully that water moment sparked something. But guys, that was my recap for episodes 6, 7, and 8. I hope you all enjoyed, and I promise not to be late, okay? It's just that life gets busy sometimes. But again, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.